Salam, everybody. I'm back with you once again for another installment on this particular series about what is happening around us. After concluding this one, I'll be returning to Where is the Father's Land, Part 3. I wanted to really stress to everyone that what your eyes see happening around you, for those that are paying attention, none of it is going to change. All of the destruction that you see will never be allowed to be fixed. None of the changes in the landscape that you see, whether it's in floods or parched land or drought or rivers disappearing, none of it will go back to the way it was. What you're seeing will be permanent and it will get worse. The question is, how many of us will perceive and accept what is happening according to what the Most High has laid out will happen? As we go day by day, we will see that something new takes place that's greater than it was the day before. It also shows us that the rulers of this earth at this time, the children of the fallen and all those who have been in confederacy with them, have not the power in any way at all to stop what is happening, especially with respect to nature. When we look at, for example, the drying up of rivers and the drought, they have been able to induce and make it rain by cloud seeding for almost 80 years or longer, about 80 years. And yet still, they have not been able to use any of that to make a difference to anything of what is happening. So here is the trap. The floods come and destroy the land, making it impossible to plant, and what is planted is destroyed rather. I'm sorry. What has been planted, when it grows, is destroyed by blight or cold out of season, and the ground becomes parched from the heat of the sun. So no water can sit on it, no seed can be planted in it, and whatever has been planted is also destroyed. None of this will be reversed. Animals are destroyed by the heat, and we see places where it's supposed to be warm, it is cold, and animals are being destroyed by the cold. So these are the things of the shaking that is spoken of in the word, and it shall continue until the Most High has gathered his people and they have returned to his land. Moreover, any of the places where we were taken, those places shall also be destroyed that do not seem to us in our minds to be the dwelling place of the children of the fallen. So whether we were born in, say, the Caribbean islands, where some of us may have been born and still reside, English-speaking Caribbean islands, non-English-speaking Caribbean islands, those places shall also see judgment because, again, these are places where we're held in captivity. And it's important that we see the complete picture of what is happening. Now we line it up with the word and we see that the word is true. So I want to encourage us once again, children of Akobe, if your identification card is those, according to the word, that were taken away to the four corners of the earth, awaken, repent, return to covenant, because it is written, though the children of Akobe, Yasharal, was as numerous as the sands of the sea, only a remnant shall come out. The shaking is here and will continue until all that the Most High has set and has put into play has been accomplished.
Belgium is facing its biggest ecological catastrophe as wildfires have scorched a significant portion of the High Fens Nature Reserve. Around 500 firefighters from across the country and neighboring countries have been battling the fire that burned roughly 3,000 hectares of moorland, peat, and woods, more than doubling Belgium's last record-breaking fire in 2011. Even farmers and agricultural workers have joined the front line, supplying thousands of liters of water to refill fire trucks as crews continue to contain the blaze. Firefighter spokesperson Nicolas Yerneau considers it the biggest ecological catastrophe in recent history, and said although the blaze has not progressed quickly, it has burned into bogs of 5 or 6 meters deep. Completely extinguishing the flames could take weeks or even months. He blamed recurring dry spells and climate change for wildfires across Europe this summer, highlighting that Belgium has suffered from droughts of 7 out of the last 9 years, adding that it's been 2 months since it last rained. The fires have also caused irreparable damage to rare biotopes, where only 3 of which exist in Belgium. Forestry officer Yves Piper said they can take thousands of years to develop and become overgrown. 2 of these 3 are irretrievably destroyed. While rain over eastern Belgium brought some relief to firefighters, Piper warns that the situation is far from over. This will take weeks, even months. The fire has eaten its way into the peat and continues to burn, in some places even without oxygen. And you can't see it from the surface. It can reignite in another spot that isn't even far away. And that's why we have to monitor it for weeks to ensure no new fires break out and spread to the unburnt areas.
The ground underneath is not rock or no sand. It's all flammable material. So it stays hot for days or for weeks. So we have to stay here for a long time to keep everything in control. We are now patrolling the street up and down and preventing that the forest catch fire. This is what we do all day long until someone calls us for something else.
Wildlife rescue teams are also patrolling the region, searching for trapped or injured animals that can be transported to rehabilitation centers if needed. While larger mammals mostly manage to flee, smaller creatures may not be so lucky.
Every time farmer Fatih Sik climbs onto his tractor in Karapinar, Turkey, he knows the ground beneath him could open without warning. 2 giant sinkholes have already torn through his cornfields. His brother was working just meters away when the second one ripped open with what Sik described to AFP as an extremely loud, terrifying rumbling sound. Geologists came to survey his land afterward. They found 2 more sites where the ground is likely to collapse. They could not tell him when. Sik still drives his tractor out every morning. He told reporters that anywhere could sink. I keep thinking about it, and I know I would be dead at the bottom, but I have to work, otherwise my family will starve. Fatih Sik is not alone. Across Turkey's Konya Plain, the most important wheat-producing region in the country, nearly 700 sinkholes have ripped through farmland. Some are over 100 feet wide. Some plunge 165 feet straight down. They are invisible from a distance. You can walk across a flat field of corn and clover and suddenly be standing at the edge of a crater that was not there last season. And here is the part that should unsettle anyone paying attention. Turkey's disaster authority has flagged 1,850 additional sites showing early signs of collapse. The ground beneath Turkey's breadbasket is not just cracking, it is accelerating, and no one can predict where the next hole opens. Here is how it got this bad. Before the year 2000, the Konya Basin saw only a handful of sinkholes per decade. By 2017, Konya Technical University's Sinkhole Research Center had documented 299. By 2021, the broader count, including smaller subsidence formations, had surged past 2,500. NASA's Earth Observatory confirmed that same year that Turkey's water reservoirs had reached their lowest levels in 15 years. Then the collapses started coming faster. By mid-2024, Associate Professor Arif Delikan at Konya Technical University had personally counted 640 sinkholes in Konya province, with more than 600 concentrated in the Karapinar district alone. He told AFP that around 20 new holes had emerged in Karapinar in the past year. He was photographed using a hammer to test the ground at the edge of one. Then, in August 2025, a new sinkhole 15 meters across opened in Suduragi village, Karaman province. That mattered because Karaman is not Konya. The crisis was spreading. In September, professional climbers descended 40 meters into the Inoba sinkhole in Karapanar to draw public attention to what was happening underground. And then in December 2025, Turkey's Disaster and Emergency Management Authority published its most comprehensive assessment yet. They confirmed 684 major sinkholes across Konya, Karaman, and Aksaray. 534 of them were in Karapanar alone. Phase 2 of national sinkhole mapping was underway. But here is what happened 12 days later that changed the picture entirely. On December 22nd, the Chamber of Geological Engineers Konya branch released satellite monitoring data showing that parts of the basin are sinking by up to 10 centimeters per year. Sukru Arslan, head of the Chamber's Konya branch, told Daily Sabah that the Konya closed basin is a subsidence basin and remains actively sinking. He said satellite measurements clearly show annual collapses reaching 10 centimeters. He said it was not a one-off phenomenon. Then he said the part no one wanted to hear. Ground fissures are no longer confined to farmland. They are now appearing in urban districts and industrial zones, including factories in Konya's Karatai district. The Konya closed basin covers roughly 50,000 square kilometers of central Anatolia. It is enormous. The city of Konya sits about 100 kilometers southwest of Karapinar, with a population of 2 million people. The basin itself holds 2.6 million hectares of agricultural land, more than 11% of Turkey's total arable land. The epicenter is Karapanar, where 534 of the confirmed sinkholes cluster. But the crisis has already crossed provincial borders. 20 sinkholes have been documented in Karaman to the south, and 9 more in Aksaray to the northeast. The fissures spreading into Konya city itself mean this is no longer a rural problem contained to open fields. It is advancing toward the population. And this is where it gets worse. Because the sinkholes are not the cause. They are the symptom. Beneath the Konya plain sits karst bedrock, soluble limestone and gypsum that has been slowly dissolving for centuries, forming underground cavities. For most of recorded history, groundwater filled those cavities and held the surface in place. Think of the water as structural support. Remove the water, and the ceiling has nothing holding it up. That is exactly what has happened. Heavy irrigation for sugar beet, corn, and wheat production has drained the basin's aquifers at a staggering rate. Professor Fethullah Arik, director of the Sinkhole Research Center at Konya Technical University, has tracked the decline for years. In the early 2000s, the water table dropped roughly half a meter per year. Today it is dropping 4 to 5 meters per year, 10 times faster. In Karapanar specifically, Professor Delican measured the decline at 10 to 20 meters annually. But that is only half the collision. The extraction is being driven by drought. NASA confirmed Turkey's reservoirs hit 15-year lows. Rainfall in Konya ran 40% below average over the 2023 to 2024 winter. When it does not rain, the aquifers do not recharge.
Up first this evening, not business as usual. That declaration from the Water Ministry as it warns that tighter water restrictions could affect Jamaicans in coming weeks.
Over 50 water systems have recorded big drops, and over $80 million has already been allocated for water trucking.
And that figure could more than triple if the drought conditions currently affecting the island do not improve.
The ministry gave an update today at a press briefing. Romardo Lyons was there and now reports.
The land of wood and water, but the data today suggests it's the land of parched and dry, with even car washing deemed as wasteful. And things could get even more restrictive come August 10. If drought conditions do not improve by then, prohibitions will be implemented.
Specifically, irrigation and watering of gardens, lawns, grounds and farms. Filling or supplying of pools and other things for domestic services. Washing of cars would be prohibited. Watering and washing of roadways, and any purpose that would require unusual or non-essential use of water.
In a similar case in 2023, it was a prosecutable offense to either waste water or to use excessive amounts for non-essential purposes. But it's a move the government believes to be necessary based on the statistics.
The rainfall that would normally come at the end of August is not projected to be experienced.
As of June 2026, 10 of 13 parishes received rainfall amounts below what was recorded in 30 years between 1991 and 2020, and the island's water systems tell the troubling tales according to the NWC.
The reality is there are a number of water supply systems that serve you that we are now concerned about.
73 systems show declines ranging from 20% to as much as 80% drops. 35 across Kingston, St. Andrew and St. Thomas. 5 across St. James and Trelawney. 4 in St. Catherine and Clarendon. 28 in the northeast of the island.
While there is some drying in the weather conditions for our western side, we're actually not yet seeing a significant decline with our sources. So St. James, Trelawney, perhaps primarily in South St. James and also South Trelawney is where there may be some decline at this point. But our sources have been holding up to a large extent.
This community well in San Juan, Puerto Rico is working overtime. Residents stream in throughout the day, filling bottles and hauling heavy containers of water up and down steep stairs. It's a laborious but necessary task, as a rotating water rationing program leaves thousands of households without running water for up to 48 hours at a time.
No hemos podido bajar mucho a lavar ropa. Tenemos 4 mascotas, que también es bien difícil poder bañarlas. Es difícil y nosotros somos 5 personas en una casa, más 4 mascotas, somos muchos.
The restrictions come after Puerto Rico's capital, San Juan, recorded its driest July yet, according to the National Weather Service. Nearly 68% of the island is experiencing drought conditions. Authorities said the rationing is in response to intense heat, as an El Niño weather pattern suppresses the conditions that typically bring the island's late summer rain. Water trucks make rounds to affected communities, but it's not enough to meet daily needs.
Llevo 2 semanas buscando agua. 2 semanas. No se puede lavar ropa. Las lavadoras no funcionan. Y el agua nunca llega.
Aside from struggling households, businesses dependent on a steady water supply have taken a hit. Laundromat manager Lisbeth Fragoso said she'd seen disruptions in water pressure since November of the year before and that water supplies stopped without warning. Last week, Puerto Rico Governor Jennifer Gonzalez said she could not say how long rationing would be needed. But forecasters see little relief ahead, with odds of below normal rainfall and above normal heat exceeding 70% through October.
Tonight, communities in the Midwest facing a long recovery after deadly flooding slammed parts of the region. 7 people dead, including a 4-year-old child, after a week of relentless rain and flash flooding in Indiana. Across the state, rising water is washing out roads, cutting off homes. North of Indianapolis in hard-hit Noblesville, cars and buildings submerged by fast-moving floodwaters. In some places, getting almost a foot of rain in 2 days. The White River cresting at nearly 25 feet, a record level surpassing the Great Flood of 1913.
I've never seen it flood so much as it has here lately.
In Indiana, Julio Enciso capturing this footage as emergency crews rescued him and his family from their home. First responders carrying out at least 50 water rescues, reaching more than 90 people stranded by the flooding. Now with a state of emergency declared, FEMA aid on the way as crews work to restore power to more than 150,000 customers.
The recovery is a long process. The hazards are still there, the challenges are still there.
In Ohio, this funnel cloud spotted as severe storms move through northern parts of the state. And the severe weather is not limited to the Midwest. In Colorado, powerful storms dumping heavy rain and hail. In Inglewood, snow plows brought in to clear the mounds of hail off the road.
yeah, 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 yeah.